So we'll make a new thing. I never made this before, so we'll try it. You're guinea pigs today. We're going to make Oreo cheesecake ice cream. I don't know. We'll see. So to make it, we're going to start, because this is a 12-quart machine, so we use half batches, which is 5 quarts. And because he took 6, so now I got to open a new bag. These are called bladders. And this is how your mix comes. The bladders are 10 quarts, pretty universal. And they're a little, takes a little getting used to in the beginning, but then it's no problem. We need one more of these because you took 6 and I need 5. Okay. And it's good. You can drink this and get fat. But it's good. It's good. And if you're a coffee drinker, add this to your coffee. That's really good. And that way you get really fat. So you don't have the recipe for this. Should I give it to them?
I would give it to them.
Yeah, have they
talk fast?
Have they earned it?
Yes, but talk fast. That way they won't hear it all.
Okay.
And they'll have to buy your book.
Gotcha. All right. So we're going to add. You use 6 quarts. How come?
Because I knew it was going to be
10.
I knew it was going to be a good ice cream, and I wanted more volume.
I got you.
That's all. That's the only reason.
So I'll make 6 too.
How many ice cream flavors are you doing today? Remember, we got this bag and one other.
Then I'll use 5.
Use 5. Play safe.
Okay, 5 will be a half batch for me. Because I have the 24-quart Emery, and I formulate everything for batches, and a batch is 1 bag, 10 quarts. But we're doing half batches today. Behind you. Okay, so this is the mix that we'll use, and I went to Publix yesterday and bought no-bake classic cheesecake. Now, of course, they had 2 kinds. They had Walmart. They had the Walmart brand, and then they had the Jell-O brand. And the difference was about 60 cents for a box. Need I say more?
Yeah, I bought the Walmart and you bought the Jell-O.
I know. In the box of no-bake cheesecake, you get 2 packets. One is the cheesecake mix. The other is the graham cracker crust mix. It's not mix. It's just crushed graham crackers. So we'll put them both in. And because of these machines, I don't think he stated it enough. The machine takes anything. It accepts everything. Nuts, fruits, frozen fruits, cherries, cucumber. By the way, cucumber, fruit or vegetable? Fruit. Fruit. I run trivia at my store, and that was the question last week. Cucumber, fruit or vegetable. All right, so we have 2 boxes of this, and we'll start. Is that ready yet? I need the machine, you know.
Sorry.
You know, time waits for no man.
You saw how when I took the ice cream out, I left the dasher spinning. That's to push the ice cream out. Right now, there's just water in there. And so if I open that gate, the front row of people here is going to get bathed like Shamu the whale. So turn it off.
Shamu's still alive?
He's alive, but he isn't performing.
Living the life of luxury as a sperm whale or whatever?
Yeah, that's a really bad pun, but yes. In other words, he's a stud.
Well, hey, I didn't say that.
Do you care if a cookie gets into your ice cream? You want me to do 2 rinses?
No, 1 is fine.
See, normally you would plan your production so you don't even have to rinse.
And you really don't between yours and mine.
Yeah, because it's just a cookie.
Sure.
But you could do a run of vanilla ice cream, and you're not going to do one batch of vanilla. You're going to be 2, 3, or 4 to build inventory. And then you're going to do, say, butterscotch swirl, vanilla ice cream in the machine, swirl as it's coming out with a pastry bag, or Jeff's got a great method. And then from there, you could go down to strawberry, Bordeaux cherry, black raspberry. Each one of them is a flavor, a fruit flavor. Each one's a little darker than the last. If there's a half a cup of strawberry left in here and it gets into the raspberry, nobody's going to notice. That's homemade. So you're not rinsing out all the time. I do have a few cookie pieces in here, so I'm going to run it through a spaghetti strainer. Or colander, so that I said I grew up in Italian neighborhoods.
We don't have a colander.
I'll find one.
Okay.
And I'm going to run this through that just so it doesn't clog my drain. Otherwise, you'd be calling the plumber every week.
And it's a good idea. You need a triple bay sink. It's required by law. And the triple bays, the first one is washing, so you'll normally fill it up with soap suds and hot water. And the next one is rinsing, and they must be labeled, by the way. These aren't, because it's not a commercial retail establishment here. But wash, rinse, and then sanitize. So you wash it. Well, that's redundant, isn't it? You rinse it, then you sanitize. All right, so here's the ingredients. We'll add, if you're writing, don't write, it doesn't matter. And always keep something underneath your spout and on the floor. What a mess.
What's a mess?
Look, your floor, it's always a mess.
Oh, it is, I know. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going this way.
All right, so we're adding 5 quarts of mix.
While Jeff's doing that, we rate our machines by finished product. How much actually comes out of the machine? So this is a 12 quart. It can make either 10 quarts or 12 quarts, depending on you. I'll just interject a little bit, like...
Filling a void?
Yeah, like
okay.
ESPN.
Okay, so first we're going to add, first we're going to start it, because when you think about it, I used to have a KitchenAid stand mixer in my store. You know, the thing where the thing goes over and then the bowls and you put the thing. And then I realized you don't need it, because this is the ultimate mixer. This is going to revolve at 234 revolutions per minute. I don't even think the KitchenAid does that. So this is perfect with giant blades, so it's a great mixer. Do this. Okay.
Ken's going to dub in oohs and ahs
Okay,
later.
then I don't need to prompt the crowd.
No, we'll do sound overs later.
So first we'll start with 1 box of cheesecake mix. Ultimately, I think we're going to be in close to the 2 boxes, but in my mind, 1.5 will work, so we'll have to taste as we go. In my class, I'll show you how to do this on the countertop, and it's foolproof. All you have to know is 9 times 6 or 8 times 3 or whatever, which people don't know so easily. I'm not judging this crowd, So we'll add 1. That's the cheesecake mix. And this is the graham cracker. Can you see it? Crushed graham crackers. And we'll add that. And then we'll get, I don't like it over here. It's always over here. It's always over there.
Maybe we should have made the bourbon vanilla first with the bourbon in it to wake them up.
No, they like that. That was great bread. This could start a whole new trend. The kids are going to, you show this to a kid, he's going to want it every day with different cereals. Which brings me to a point. Steve makes see that little machine over there? You can put that on the counter in your house, whip up breakfast every day for the kids, ice cream and different cereals. You'll be parent of the year.
Yes, you will.
Right? That's perfect for that. Okay, we'll add some vanilla, and my formula is 1 ounce per quart. So what do we have? 5? 5 quarts. So we'll put 5 ounces in. And we've got in there 1 pack of cheesecake. I'm going to start by adding half of these, just so that we can, when we taste it, we'll have a starting point. So half of that, and half of that. And then, since this is Oreo cookie cheesecake ice cream, I buy these at Restaurant Depot. These are nothing more than crushed or pieces of Oreo. This is where the companies make a fortune. This used to be waste for them. What? Yeah, this used to be floor sweeping. Now they package it, sell it for more than the cookies. And they do the same thing with Heath Bar pieces, Butterfinger pieces, everything. Payday pieces I even buy. So, there's a rat. Somebody thought of this. I don't know how much of this we're going to need. So we'll start with whatever we start with, and then we'll taste it. We still haven't turned the refrigerant on because we're setting this up. I don't know what it's going to be like. So we'll taste it. When we get it right, we'll turn the refrigerant on.
Watch these videos, you know that Jeff and I agree on very little. If he wasn't talking to the crowd, he'd be moving at a faster pace, putting things in. So I would turn on the refrigeration immediately and add my ingredients, and I can still taste it, but the refrigeration's going. I'm not going to whip too much air in there.
Okay.
And you've got time. You've got about 4 minutes to keep adding things where it's still liquid. So Jeff's wrong. Now, I know the camera can't see it, but anytime I say Jeff's wrong, all he does is point to Mr. Sharknado up there and says, now who's wrong?
Oh, that I don't have to point to that. We've got avocado ice cream. We have salsa ice cream.
Yeah, we're making avocado maybe today.
Oh, good.
Later. Yes, we are, definitely. Yes, sir.
Now we talk about like cheesecake.
2.5 pounds.
So I want to know what's different element for each product. Like what's element, for instance, like Italian ice, I know it's like water, sugar, and stabilizer.
Okay. After Jeff finishes putting all his ingredients in and this is running, I'll go into some of that.
Go ahead. I'm good.
You're all set?
So what do we have in there? We have 1.5 packages of cheesecake mix, 2.5 pounds of Oreos, 5 quarts of mix, 5 ounces vanilla. Right? Now
You should be writing this down because he doesn't give it out again.
Now we'll see if it's worthy. That's real good. I'm going to add the rest of this because I don't want to take it home.
And it's already open.
You can't have too much of a good thing, right? Okay, what was his question? It sounded interesting.
His question was, we talk about all these different products and what is it that the machine can do? Our machine does things that no other machine in the world can do. Nobody else has my invention of the infinite overrun control. Nobody else has the sheer weight of the dasher and the drive system that we have. You look at any of the other machines without naming names and they're going to say, you'll void your warranty if you put anything into the machine other than liquids. We don't do that. You're going to see today, you've seen me throw in the cereal, just put in cookies. I'm going to add whole bananas later, just drop them in. This machine can take anything. This thing's a tank. And we've been building these tanks for 113 years. And the only time I make changes to them is to improve it. I never cut the cost on this machine because they're all handmade here in Florida. A batch freezer, our batch freezer, nobody else's, our batch freezer is like your oven at home. Your oven doesn't have a brain, it's just a big source of heat. It has no idea if it's baking a pie or broiling a steak or heating up tater tots. It's just heat. You put it in there, it heats it up. The Emery Thompson batch freezer, with the ability to adjust the speed, can make homemade ice cream, which is high air content. Why would we want high air content? Because we're running high fat products. And I use the analogy of high fat versus, or high air content versus low air content in birthday cakes, or cakes in general. You have a birthday cake, a vanilla birthday cake, and you have a pound cake. They're both cakes, they're both good. Which would you rather have a second piece of? I think everybody would say, I can take a second piece of the birthday cake, the pound cake has left me too heavy. So just because we can adjust the air doesn't make it right for a particular product. So homemade ice cream is high fat, high air content in perfect balance, and quite frankly, all people notice is the air, the flavor. Nobody ever walked out of an ice cream parlor and said, oh man, that's the best air content I ever ate. Or I can't wait to come back tomorrow morning. I just love their fat content. People say, I love the mint taste. It was a natural mint. Steve got it from Green Mountain Flavors, all natural. The chocolate chips weren't chalky. They were Ghirardelli from San Francisco. They had a nice taste to it. That's what people remember. They don't remember the air content or the fat content. It's just part of the package. So just like your oven that can heat up anything you put into it, I should tell you the story about the guy who he wanted to hide his gun from his grandchildren coming over. So he put his revolver into the oven, and then when they wanted pizza, he turned on the oven to heat it up, and the thing starts firing. And so he reaches into the oven without an oven mitt because it's firing, grabs it, the thing shoots him, and also he burns his hand because it was in the oven. Stupid place.
One-armed Admiral story? Is that?
No, that's not
okay.
the Admiral story. That can't be told here.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. So anyway, this thing is like your oven. It has no brain other than the infinite overrun control, which will adjust the speed. So homemade is high overrun. Super premium is a lower air content. Gelato is even lower, but now the fat content drops from 16, 14% down to about 8 or 10%, sometimes lower. Custard is the lowest air content of any product. That has 3% egg yolk in it. It's usually 10 or 12% fat, and it's as dense as you can possibly do. In between there, you have sorbet, sorbetto, Italian ice. They're all the same thing with different names.
Cream
I was
ice.
probably going to show you this later, but when I pull out my Italian ice today, that's going to be my banana blueberry Italian ice, and I'll probably get $2 for that 4-ounce portion. This is the same machine, the same product. This is my banana blueberry sorbet, sold in a fine French restaurant, and I'm going to get $7 for it. And the only difference is the container. It's the same stuff. Anybody tells you that there's a difference between sorbet and Italian ice hasn't a clue what they're talking about, which would be most of the Italians. So it can also make, which we're going to talk about today too if we have time, dairy-free ice cream. I'm of the young end of the baby boomers. Jeff is at the way old end of the baby boomers. And there are 72 million of us. We are the biggest buying group that ever came along. This is what Haagen-Dazs goes after, and Ben & Jerry, and all the other high-fat ice creams. And then you have the millennial age group. The age varies, and I'm making generalizations, but let's say 21 to 39. They are even bigger than our group. Our kids had a lot of kids. And they are 85 million strong. And they, in general, again, generalizations, are not really keen on dairy. So if I tell people, if I had my 4 millennial children over for dinner, they're scattered around the country, they're psychiatrists and lawyers and all sorts of different jobs. If they all came for Christmas dinner down to Florida and I served them Haagen-Dazs, they'll happily have the Haagen-Dazs. But they don't have pints of Haagen-Dazs in their freezer like Paula and I do. We eat on a regular basis, they don't. They prefer a dairy-free product. And I use, I did my own formulations of dairy-free using coconut, and they were good. But the problem with it is they would freeze up in a serving cabinet. that they couldn't go to the lower temperatures. So I use this product called Mommy's, spelled M-A-M-I-S. And so, and this is 100% vegan, no GMOs, no any chemicals in it. This is just a coconut-based powder with sugar in it, and it makes the greatest dairy-free ice cream in the world. So this machine will make that. Sherbet. Sherbet's an old-fashioned product, and it usually, when I was growing up, it was, what flavors did you have?
Lemon,
Raspberry,
orange,
lemon, and that was about it. And it was kind of sticky and gummy because they didn't have Italian ice. They didn't know how to deal with
Today
it.
it's a multi-billion-dollar industry called cream ice.
Yes, that's right. We rechanged the name, repurposed it, and called it cream ice. But it's sherbet. But our sherbets, Jeff's sherbets, are not sticky and gummy because we're not loading it up with emulsifiers and stabilizers.
Okay, put that on pause. We're going to draw out a pie. These are sold in Walmart or the super, 99 cents for these. This is an Oreo cookie one. They come graham cracker or Oreo cookie. And it comes like that, which means you can make the pie and do that. So I'm just going to draw off enough pie to give to Paula. I know who butters my bread.
Yeah, you know who runs the company, too.
So it's very simple.
What about the refrigeration?
And this will settle into a beautiful little pie that you can sell at your store, $10, or take it to somebody's house for dinner, or just take it out of the freezer at 11:30 and glom away. And there you go. That's pretty cool. 99 cents and a few scoops of ice cream, and she's got it. And you can decorate it. You can put some Oreos on it, chips, or you can take your can of whipped cream and go whoop. You have to make that noise though. Okay, so here it is. Oreo cheesecake ice cream.
On those pies, I think you can get a little higher price because something that you ladies might not know about men, we cheat. We cheat on eating. You put us on a diet and you feed us lettuce leaves and we cheat. So if there's a pint of ice cream in the freezer and at 11 o'clock at night I take a couple of spoonfuls or maybe really half the pint, it's noticeable the next morning. But if I've got that pie and I got a nice portion of it for dessert tonight, at 11 o'clock at night, I'm cutting off a half-inch slice.
No, you're eating the whole thing. You're eating the whole thing.
Well, I'm trying to be nice. It'll never be noticed. And tomorrow night, another half inch. And then all of a sudden, where'd the pie go? Oh, honey, don't you remember you had it for lunch? We do
Okay,
that.
so have some Oreo cookie cheesecake ice cream.
That's good. Okay.
None for you, Mike?
Mine never gets this.
Did y'all just pour water in there?
Like it comes out so much thinner.
Correct.
If I let it
Correct.
sit longer,
That's a rinse is just water.
How old's your
I
machine?
have my own theory
You have
on
a blade in
on
backwards.
when to
No, it
rinse.
has the
He
different
rinses. He
Okay.
sets his ice creams up differently
You're
than I
doing
do.
something.
But
You're doing
so be it.
something mechanically wrong, and we'll figure it out. Just call me on the phone
Okay.
when you're making ice cream, because oh, how much mix are you putting in?
New Orleans, right?
25 parts.
How big is the machine? This one. This is a 6 quarts finished.
Where's your
you should
name
only put
tag,
4
dude?
quarts in here. Yeah, you're overloading it.
What's your name?
Richard.
Richard.
Whatever.
Okay.
If
now
you were
we
making
know.
vanilla, I'd put in 3.5 to 4 quarts. If I'm making Oreo cookie or this
Are those your
cheesecake, I'd
daughters?
put in 3.5 quarts. And then my ingredients, you're overloading it, so it's getting frozen on the outside, but not on the inside.
For sure. Because then when I open it up, I get frozen stuff and then with it.
And you get the error code because it's frozen up on the
This
outside.
was easy enough to make,
and
wasn't
it
it?
can't cut through that.
Okay.
Easy.
Thanks.
Now, those of you
Simple
who may
ice
have been
cream
listening to
to
that
me.
last conversation, the
Instead of
lady had
Oreo,
a
you can
question
add
about
anything.
running her machine. And if that had been any other company and she called up tech support, she said
man.
that her product was hard on the outside and soft on the inside. And after asking her a couple of simple questions, I found out she was putting too much mix in the machine. She was overloading the machine. Quite frankly, if that had been any other manufacturing company, they would have said, we have great service, we're going to send someone out. In 2 days, they'll be right over there. The mechanic would come, he would change the expansion valve for $234. He'd charge you 2 hours labor, $400. So now you've got a $634 bill, and he says, let's make ice cream. He knows how to run the machine. He makes her formula. It runs perfectly. And you say, isn't that wonderful? They fixed my new machine, and it only cost $700. Well, with an Emery Thompson, you call here, and you speak to a tech, you speak to me, and we'd have you up and running in 2 minutes because we ask the questions that we need to know, because all we do is batch freezers. We don't do soft serve, we don't do slush, we don't do deep fat fryers or blodgett ovens. We just do batch freezers. We are the expert in the world on batch freezers. I tell people, and I'll tell you on the camera, if you don't buy one of our machines, by all means, use my formulas. I have 231 videos, and after today we'll be at 237 videos. And between Jeff and I, we make some of the best ice cream in the world, as this class is right now tasting. So Jeff, what do you say we take a 10-minute break, let them stretch their legs?
Okay.
We're at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
and I've had it for a couple of years.
Okay.
We'll take a break for 10 minutes. Jack, if you want to pot us down.
They can use this time to purchase the books if they want.
Oh, yes. Jack, are we still up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me chill for my friend here. A couple of things. One of them is important. The other is just a plain old shill. Jeff runs a course called Ice Cream Boot Camp, and half the audience here today spent the last 2 days there. And I want to tell you about it because getting information in the ice cream industry is quite scarce. People are very secretive about it. They don't want to tell you their formulas. And I don't blame them. Who wants people constantly coming into your store and saying, what machine do you use? How do you make your mint chip? Where do you get your mint? You know, find it out on your own. Or go to my website, emerythompson.com, and it's all there. But Jeff's course is all hands-on. He's going to have you making ice cream. You're going to be waiting on tables. You're going to be waxing his Corvette, counting the money and slipping 10% of it into your pockets when he's not looking. He's not here. And you're going to be very busy for 2 days, and I have never heard anybody, that's a double negative, everyone who goes to his class comes out raving about it. It's money well spent. And then after the 2 days, then you come to our class, which is free, 4 easy payments of free, and you'll learn a lot. Anytime you can gain some information, you should take it. Penn State has a course. University of Wisconsin has a course. Steve Christensen runs Ice Cream Scoop School. He's also very good. There are places where you can get information. Pretty much stay away from books, except for two exceptions, Jeff's book and Malcolm Stogo's book, Incredible Ice Cream. These are real books that'll teach you. The rest of the books are concerned with fat content and how to analyze it, and stuff that if you worked for Land O'Lakes Butter and you were their chief scientist, you would take one of their courses. Like even Penn State. The ice cream short course is 5 days long of your, mind-numbing, dull, because it's all about, analyzing fat contents. They have another course at the end of the month that I teach at, which is called Ice Cream 101, and it's a weekend course, and it's about marketing. What you want to learn from us and from these courses is not how to analyze the solids level in the dairy. It's really not important. Nobody cares. You go to a professional for that. What you want to know is if a single scoop costs $3.50, how much should you charge for a banana split? That's the kind of stuff you want to learn. Jeff's book is his own recipes that he makes here. You can get them while watching the videos if you slow the tape down really slowly and turn the volume up, because he mumbles and talks fast so that you won't hear the formulas. But he's got this available too at his website, which is xhippie@aol.com. And since Jeff is a creation of the 60s, he can't even spell hippie right. So it's the letter X and then HIPPEE. If you go to Hippie, HIPPY, it's a black site, and the FBI will be on you in 24 hours. So check this out, and if those of you watching this tape, check out Jeff's class. He's in Fruit Loops, Florida. Oh, Fruitland, Florida, excuse me. And it's called Mystic Ices and Ice Cream. And good stuff. So let's take a break. We'll be back about 10 minutes, and you can walk around. You can pet Sammy. You can use the restrooms. And we'll come back here, and we're going to make a all-organic Italian ice.